Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a short little knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Miguron Hovor, H-O-V-O-R. Let me say this right at the beginning of the video. This is a ridiculously good budget knife. These are a little more expensive than their hyper budget D2 models. These are in 19C27, which is a sort of a budget predecessor to VG10. Most importantly though, they are actually hitting it at its optimal HRC, which is between 62 and 64, legitimately hitting it there. This is a ridiculously versatile steel, and normally we don't see VG10 or similar anywhere, even in sub one. I mean, like there's a couple of sub 100 VG10 knives, but VG10 has kind of priced itself out, except for, you know, when it's applied on Miguron knives, and even when it, you know, even when it is a steel that is available on a pocket knife and it's like over $100 or something like that, not a lot of companies are actually hitting that optimal HRC. So considering this is a $59 pocket knife at base, you're looking at the aluminum lacquer craft version of it, which is this is super cool. It's like $4 more for the aluminum lacquer craft, right? The combination here, $63, right? It's stupidly good. Like there's no, it's so funny. It's like they skipped way beyond being competitive, like trying to price things within a few bucks, and they're just beating out so many companies by $20, $30, $40. It is ridiculous. It is at the point now where you can go to Miguron's website and you can pick out any knife that they're selling between 35 and 70 bucks, and it will be a best in class or one of the best in class knives. Like not within the brand, but across the industry. The HRC numbers have been tested and confirmed by our resident tailor. You can check out his website, Steel Hardness Lab, by clicking on the final clickable link in my description down at the bottom. But yeah, this has been confirmed. So it is super cool that Miguron is doing this, and this is their next, you know, thing that they're doing. We're going to talk about it because the shape of it is not going to be appealing to everybody, right? But again, it's the implication here that they can apply this to whatever, any shape of knife. So anyways, thanks to Miguron for sending this in. I got a bunch of these. I'll do giveaways on, you know, Friday evening live streams, so expect to see those. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Overall length of this guy coming in at almost 7.5. Almost 7.5. Blade length coming in at 3.35. Cutting edge, 3 1/8. Today's size comparison is once again sponsored by Remet. I'm going to put the Remet RT Orca up against this guy. Actually pretty similar. There'll be a link for the Orca down in the description as well. Thank you very much to Remet for sponsoring the size comparison for this video. Let's go ahead and put it up against my own full-size Excalibur, and let's do the compact Excalibur, very similar to the compact Excalibur in overall size. Let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, and where's my Deca? There it is, Hogue Deca, very similar to the Hogue Deca, a little shorter than the Hogue Deca. Let's just do one more. Let's do Spyderco Para 3. Okay, how's the action? This, another super cool thing that they do, right? And by the way, thumb studs, the button, the pocket clip, the stand, you can pick, there's like a bunch of different combinations of like different colors, right? To my knowledge, these at least are anodized titanium, which is freaking wild. Absolutely wild. The pocket clip itself, I think, is also titanium. It's wanting to grab at something. It's not the pocket clip. I think it's the liner. Yeah, it's the liner underneath. There's a steel liner in there. The pocket clip, that's on the titanium ano scale, like or spectrum, the color there. So I would say yes. This is a button-operated liner lock, just adding to the cool factor and adding to the, oh, you don't usually see that combination of elements. I mean, you see button-operated liner locks at this price, but not combined with all of this stuff. There is nobody, I mean, like if you're like, okay, $60. Nobody else is combining all of these things together excuse me, a burp aggressively escaped my mouth while I was talking. I'm not even going to edit that out. I'll just leave it in there. Nobody's even coming close. But it's just cool that they do little things like adding the button-operated liner lock in there. It's not a plunge lock. It's a button-operated liner lock. And they do a really good job with their button-operated liner locks. That's neat. Any little place there is to cut a corner, they don't. They go all out. That's really, really cool. I like this a lot. Why they didn't bring the liner all the way out to the front so you could manipulate it like a regular liner lock, I'm not really sure. Probably just the general shape of things underneath there. Doesn't need to be that way, but they did a really good job with it. So I think we were doing the size comparisons, and then did we start to get into action? I can't remember. I think I'm just like losing my train of thought here because I'm excited about. I get really excited about a good budget knife. A good budget knife is super exciting. I mean, it's just like watching companies compete to bring the best possible thing for the lowest amount of money now in 2026 is really amazing. I mean, it's one thing when a company can deliver some crazy super exotic steel and some super exotic handle material and inlays and all these crazy, and they're like, oh yeah, and it's like $1,500, and you're like, eh. But when a company can do something absolutely amazing, I mean, you're not going to get stuff like that for $60, but you can get something pretty amazing for $60. Yeah, it's exciting. Even from somebody who does legitimately, regularly buy super expensive pocket knives. Carry profile, I guess, and that's where I'm going now. I think we transitioned into action correctly. Carry profile, thickness up against a pair of 3, it's about the same. It's almost exactly the same, maybe a hair thinner. Length and height up against the PM2 and pair of 3. Pretty compact knife. Not going to be taking up too much room in the pocket. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness here real quick. Pretty thin, 103 thousandths there. Let's go ahead and weigh it. 19C27. In this case, the aluminum with the lacquer stuff on it. And then we've got some titanium components and some steel underneath. There are also G10 options that will weigh, I think, slightly less. Maybe even another material. 3.1 ounces is 0.1 ounces away from ultra lightweight, at least by my definition. Balance is directly in the middle of your primary index finger position, which is really, really good. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use in this channel. Everything is T8 except for the pocket clip screws, which is fine. And by the way, yes, they do give you options to mount for left or right-handed carry. So really cool there. It's just a basic liner lock. Super easy to take apart and put back together. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's move into the meat and potatoes. It's not it's not going to be the most appealing shape to everybody, but let me tell you, this blade will slice. Oh my, this sort of like short little, not kukri, I don't know. It's like a little fat machete blade, but there's so much room for it to take a full flat grind all the way up except for this little tiny swedge here. But it comes down to a very thin edge. And let me tell you, this blade is ready to slice. It is super utilitarian, actually very, very comfortable. Nice jimping here. Blade is still wide enough to make use of that jimping. Very comfortable in the standard hammer grip or choked up. It will make short work of whatever it is that you are cutting. But also, the steel has really good edge stability, and while it's not going to be like the oh my god amazing edge, it's still got decent edge retention. Especially considering Miguron is hitting it at the appropriate hardness. But I think most importantly, considering this is a budget knife, VG10 has excellent stainless properties. So this is a use it and don't be concerned. And then when you beat the edge up, VG10 is super easy, even at 62 to 64 HRC. VG10 is super easy to touch back up. Most of the time, it just needs stropping. Super friendly steel. Amazing that you can get this steel, at this price, combined with all of these elements and at the appropriate, not even appropriate, optimized HRC. Super duper cool. We have this sort of like kind of overcast, it's not really bead blasting. It's probably some sort of media blasting, glass blasting, something like that. But looks really, really nice. Straightforward. They're not doing anything with billboarding or branding here. They just keep their logo, the Majin Buu logo on the, I'm kidding, on the pivot there. So that's nice. I like the contrast of kind of the aqua with the green here. It's pretty cool, but if you don't want to go flashy, they have non-flashy options. There's a lanyard hole. The pocket clip, like I said, can be mounted for left or right-handed carry. The bill's a little long, but it's not a big deal. And honestly, it's not a hotspot either. So the stop pin is located in its traditional position right here. Your closed position stop is actually behind that little tab, so nowhere near the button. It looks like the button bar does come up near the plunge grind, but nothing is actually interacting with that part of the knife. It's actually back here, right? So there's nothing there. I'll give you guys a good look at that plunge grind. Really cool. Set up for longevity for sure. No blade play, up, down, left, or right. There is no lock stick. There is no pivot lash. Smooth and consistent in here. If it's not obvious, it runs on bearings. Excellent detent and perfect centering. Miguron is a golden standard for budget cutlery. It is so ridiculous, and I feel like, you know, I said it a long time ago, and I keep saying it in these Miguron reviews. I said Miguron has the opportunity to become this absolute golden god of the budget knife world. They are so close in so many areas. They were already making really, really good budget knives, but I was like, you guys are so close. After they, you know, they talked a little bit with me, I think a lot more with Taylor, but after they, you know, improved and increased their HRC across the board and still didn't like blow up their prices, and then continued to offer like these cool things like, you know, the special aluminum with the lacquer finish, the titanium components, adding in, you know, interesting, or at least, you know, it's not a whole lot different than a regular liner lock. It just operates with a button, but it is an additional feature, and they're doing all of these things together without going nuts with the price tag. You know, and now if you're thinking like, yeah, they did raise the price. Some of the previous, you know, amazing budget knives were only $37. That's because they were made out of D2. That's the element there that's making them costless. The 19C27 is absolutely a more expensive steel. They cannot do everything they're doing here and sell it for $37. They can do it with D2 and probably give you a steel pocket clip, and that's amazing, right? But it's cool that they give you, you know, if you want something a little spicier, they have like it's still budget, but it's like spicy budget. But they make you feel like you're really getting your money's worth, and you definitely are. Let me drive that point home. There is no one else competing with Miguron. It's literally just Miguron competing with Miguron. No one else is even close. There's a lot of other companies making some awesome, you know, budget knives, like in the sub $75 world, but nobody's offering the same combinations, and most of them are not heat treating their blade steels properly. Is this a recommendable knife? Absolutely. The only thing that's going to turn some people off is the way that it looks. But that blade is pure function. That blade is awesome. It is a slicing machine, super utilitarian. You don't get nearly as much of a tip, but it is very, very good. At some point, I imagine that Miguron will take these golden combinations, whether you're looking at their $37 D2 knives or their $59 19C27 knives. Eventually, they will make a shape and combination that everybody, you know, that will be for you or the next guy or the next guy. I mean, they're going to keep doing this. So, yeah, power to them. Miguron, keep doing exactly what you're doing because you guys are killing it. This is a hyper recommendable knife for everyone. Not something that I say super often. I mean, you know, I've said it before, but over 6,000 uploads, I haven't said it very many times. This is recommendable for everyone. It will go in my most recommended knives playlist as well as my cheap knives I like playlist. Very good. A little longer than I wanted the video to be, but we're still under 15. That's it. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.